chapter 10, part 7. I think I said 7 last time. I beg your pardon. So we're at Madalena Abakanowicz, um, and this is her most famous work. She's from Poland, and is called Backs from 1976 to 82. So it's just burlap and glue, really simple. She made a mold, and then she just put like it's kind of like paper mache, only using burlap. You can see they're hollow, and there are no fronts to them. They just kind of lay like that, and there's no heads. Now this is a really important piece about the body as well, but what this is 80 slumped over life size, actually slightly larger than life size, without heads, legs, I guess hands, and saying all these other things. I've seen this on a bunch of different configurations in different museums. It seems like it's a very powerful and commonly seen piece. So this is installation. So she's talking about the modern melees of uniformity, the loss of self and individuality. And she's not talking about modern as in last year. She's talking about several, the 20th century and into the 21st century, and how in her culture in Poland, when she lived there, she didn't have access to a lot of things, and everyone in communism, she's in a communist country for a very long time, how people were not encouraged to be individualistic, okay? So there was a lot of like, keep your head down, don't be noticed, and she's commenting on this in an extreme way. So they're pressed into the mold, so they're all pretty similar. She changes them all a little bit, but they're pretty much the same size and shape. And then she wants little individual things to emerge, little twists of the fiber. Like if you see this one's looking more linear, and that one's kind of more rumpled, and that's got some swirls there going on. And she mentions that they're wrinkled skin, knotted muscles, and visceral tissue. Viscera, meaning your guts. That's what she's trying to say is your visceral tissue. So it's an organic quality to these, and it's emphasizing physicality and our ties to the natural world. And burlap was the only thing she could get a hold of when she was a citizen of Poland at that time. So Jenny Holzer is one of my all-time favorite artists. Oh my gosh. These are kind of in every museum. This is the Guggenheim Museum. This is that one that's in architecture it's sort of curved shapes on the outside. Not a great museum to go into, but a beautiful piece of architecture. Frank Lloyd Wright made this building, and of course, it's all about him and his art and his architecture, not so much about the artwork. But anyway, she figured out a really good way to show this work. And private property created crime. Push yourself to the limit as often as you are able, and some other things in here. She has a long list of them, and I've seen these in different ways, usually in this way with these LED lights, this sort of signboard. It's kind of like if you're out walking around, oh gosh, in a downtown area, New York would have this kind of a thing circulating around, or in a marquee by a theater and say, please come in, blah, 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 next show at 6 p.m., that kind of thing. But she uses that technology in an art context, okay? So they're kind of contradictory or odd phrases. Here's a good one down here. They're about how we drive ourselves crazy with a million possibilities that are half correct. They're kind of thought-provoking. I like them. Protect Me From What I Want is her most famous one. She had that on a billboard in Vegas for a long time. Oh, I just love it. Written in a culture where money can buy almost everything, So it's kind of imitating mass media, and then it's also sort of like more thought-provoking, but they do kind of flash, and different words come up all the time. So they move. It's a movement piece. All right, art versus politics. So Daumier here, and I was kind of thinking about this when we looked into Goya, same time period, and he came to mind. But he has poked fun. He poked fun at, in this case, we're looking at the legislative belly, and he's looking at a sort of a. We're in France, so it's not Congress in the same kind of way. It would be Parliament, and these guys are all bloated or falling asleep, and they don't care. And so anyway, that was why he made these pointed caricatures of these people. It just made a mockery out of them. And then very soon after this, 1835, it becomes illegal to make political cartoons. But he's the first. He's where political cartoons came from that we see in the newspaper every